that you can play in family planning? People will say you abstain, people will say use protection and all that. Yes, it's part of family planning. But let's introduce you to one of those that are quite effective. A vasectomy. I'm not going to go directly into the definition of that because we do have the experts with us right here on the Morning Drift. But what we're going to do is essentially dispel all the questions, all the mysteries, and everything that it is that you need to learn about vasectomy. The questions that we're going to answer is what the procedure is. And it's a good thing that we do have a man with us here who has undergone the procedure. So get to learn from him what the side effects are. And it's a good thing the expert is here to talk about the side effects. And then we're going to cross to the man who has actually undergone this procedure. Tell us whether indeed those side effects are there, because the probability of side effects is exactly what they talk about. But welcome to this conversation now for online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Shortly then, we're going to answer all those questions and get deeper into this Health Thursday conversations. All right, let me introduce the guests who are joining us this morning. We do have Swale Mohammed, who's a client who has undergone a vasectomy. Swale, how are you doing, man?
Nice to meet you guys.
You know, you're in a population of, I would say, African men. You're probably in, they say, in 1% of the male African population that has had a vasectomy. Yes, those are the stats. Numbers don't lie, just 1%. Happy to have you around. Also joining us this morning is Alan Otieno, who's a service provider at Marie Stopes. Alan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
I want to start with you, Alan.
Yes.
So that we get the perfect definition of what a vasectomy is.
Yeah.
Before I get to tell you the misconceptions, I don't know what men think about what a vasectomy is. So could we get the proper definition of what a vasectomy is?
Okay, so my name is Alan Otieno. I work with Marie Stopes Kenya as a sexual and reproductive health service provider.
Yes.
Yeah, so vasectomy, so the definition I can simply say it is an effective and safe method of birth control for men.
Yes.
Yeah, that's vasectomy.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's done in during the vasectomy, the tube that transports the sperms from the epididymis during ejaculation, it's kind of interrupted. So it's cut and both sides are sealed. So there'll be, during ejaculation, there is no presence of sperms within the ejaculation.
Yes.
So it's only semen. It's pure semen.
Yes.
Yes.
I like the way you make it quite simple, given that the tube is cut.
Yes.
Do you think that this definition, in people's sense, that the tube is cut, therefore the sperms do not really get to cross over to the other side? Is that what scares people from getting into this procedure, just before we cross over to Swale?
Okay, from the word cut, yes, it may be scary,
Yes.
but vasectomy is a very simple procedure.
Is it, you would say?
Yeah, so maybe it's just an interruption of the flow of sperms during ejaculation.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a minor procedure that is done as outpatient procedure, so you don't need any hospitalization. Yeah, so it's that simple. So
It's a walk-in, walk-out procedure?
yes, you just walk in, so you get prepared. So before you do the vasectomy, you undergo a very thorough, informative, and very detailed counseling.
I'll be coming back to that so that we know the type of counseling that you have to go through, isn't it? Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just let me cross over to Swale. Swale, the basis of this conversation would be, why would a man opt for a vasectomy? Let me just get your particular reason as to why you went into this procedure.
Actually, from my personal perspective,
Yes.
I've been in research phase since, let's say, 2019. It's something that I thought about for a very long time, because I have 2 kids right now. So once I had my second born, I knew that was it. I didn't want any more oops babies out there. So I started my research back then to see, what kind of procedures I could use. Since, most of the contraceptive methods we have for the ladies are quite, what can I say? They usually, what should I say? They affect them hormonally, like the pills and the implants. They have lots of side effects. But for men, it was quite simple to just look at the vasectomy aspect, go out there, get the information. If there are any side effects, go through them, research everything just to see if you could dispel, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. That's the problem with vasectomy in Kenya right now.
Yes.
When you start researching, if you ask the average Kenyan male about vasectomy, I don't know if I'm allowed to say nutsack right here, because everyone thinks it's equated to castration, and it's not. It's a very simple process.
And we're gonna talk to Kevin about that as well.
Yeah.
Because majority of the men that we talk to, the moment you mention vasectomy, then everybody thinks, well, is it castration? Or in that sense. Let me take you back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Your decision to go into this procedure was based on the information that you had about the side effects that family planning procedures in the female gender then would have on them. Is that what you said? Then you put them on a balance and then you said, I think it makes sense for me to do it, other than her.
Yes. Because if you look at what our women, our wives, our mothers, our sisters go through, side effects of the drugs they have to take and the implants they have to use, and vasectomy, which is for men, is just, I don't even think it's an invasive process. It's something like doctor said here, it's something you can just walk in, get it done in 30, 40 minutes, walk out and come back to work. After taking pain medication, that's it. It pales in comparison with what they have to go through and what I had to do.
But I want to ask you this question, so I'm not going to let you easy, because we're here to dispel any mystery that might be in line with this.
It's okay.
What was your mental status when you started this research? And I'll give you the one reason as why majority of African men will not actually run into this. There's this thing about a culture where we say, you might not know.
Yep.
For you, you come from a very informed background. I just need 2 kids. They're here. So what is the next step? Did you fight with your, mentality, with your conscience, that the what if, in a percentage, Swale, that I'm going for it, the what if, could you give me the percentage of why the what if lost? Because as a man, the what if, especially if you're going to stop procreating, should weigh heavily on you. In what percentage was it, and why did it not weigh so much on you?
Okay, from the get-go, I was quite skeptic about the whole process.
Of course, you had to be.
Very, very skeptic. But I was quite fortunate to have a friend who had undergone the process back in 2016.
Yes.
So when I started doing research and everything, I reached out to him, and he was quite forthcoming with a lot of information. He guided me a lot. Every time I had some myths or misconceptions about the process, I would reach out to him, and he always took time to guide me through. He told me not to rush it, take time, do all the research, and after you get all in the information, then you can make a decision.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the biggest challenge we have right now is to demystify how vasectomy is, what should I say? How vasectomy is portrayed in the African culture.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of misconception that it's like, what should I say, you downgraded as a man, or there's impotence or something. That's not the case. You can lead a very normal life.
Like you.
Just me, look at me. I'm a bouncing baby boy right now. Yeah.
I like the way solicitors, I'm a bouncing baby boy.
Yes.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll be coming back to you, because it's a conversation that I think that you need to have with your spouse.
Okay.
And then you come up with a proper decision together before then you say, okay, let's go do it, because it's not just your decision. Alan, let me put you on the spot then. Yeah. You see, this thing, it's not like just going in for pain medication or any other type of surgery. You have to win mentally.
Yes.
It's a mental thing before then you continue with the process.
Yes.
Could you take us through the counseling process and who passes and who does not pass? Because I think you've met people who said, I think you need to go back. And then if you're really clear about this, then come back and continue with this. Take us through that process. What do you look out for? And when you're looking at these patients, who do you qualify for this process? And do you say, no, I don't think you're ready for this? Yeah.
Yeah, so vasectomy, as we all know, there are many myths and misinformation surrounding vasectomy.
Yes.
Which almost all of them are not true. Yeah, so it's a detailed counseling and a provision of information. So first of all, if we find a client, so we have to discuss first all the other options of contraceptives, including the condoms, the pills, the implants, the intrauterine devices. So we have to explore all that until the client decides what he wants is a vasectomy.
Hold on, so I walk in for the vasectomy, and then instead of just giving it to me, you'll be like, hold on. Do you know that there are other viable procedures or options that will give you the same results as this? Isn't it?
Yes.
Have you ever had people say, okay, I'll take this as opposed to vasectomy?
Okay, you find most of them, you find that they have already done their research. They know all the options. So after you've taken them through, you still end up in the vasectomy because they have made a choice.
They've made up that choice. So
yes.
whatever you're looking through this, giving them options, is to see whether indeed they've done their research prior to visiting.
And it's an informed decision. Yes. Yeah. So after exploring all the other options, and they settle on the vasectomy as their method of choice. So now we start the journey to the vasectomy procedure. So here we talk we give the information about, we dispel the misinformations, the myths. Yeah, so some of the myths that are surrounding the vasectomy is that if you do a vasectomy, you lose your manhood.
Do you, Alan?
You don't.
Like this one is laughing.
Yeah, so as I told you earlier,
yes.
Vasectomy is just interruption of the flow of sperms during ejaculation. So there's no other part of the reproductive system of a man.
It does not interfere with the hormonal balances or any other thing?
Nothing. So no other part of the reproductive organ is touched during the vasectomy. It's only that the duct, it's called vas deferens. That's what transports the sperms during ejaculation. So that's the only part that is interfered with during vasectomy. So vasectomy does not in any way affect your sexual performance or sexual pleasure. No. It's only that you ejaculate a seedless juice. So it's only semen with no sperms inside. So vasectomy does not in any way affect your manhood.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll ejaculate as usual, you will erect as usual, you'll have the sexual urge and enjoy the pleasure as usual without any interference from the procedure.
But just before I cross over to Swadley, I'll be coming back to you. Now, I'm going to give you the biggest misconception around this vasectomy. Now, I'll be very open to you. I just knew up to the other day I was also part of this misconception.
Yeah.
Because probably then I did not, because it's an area that I've not really decided to explore, I did not really do my research into it. This is what they say. Then if you don't get to release sperm from your body, then it would lead to you developing a cancer. Is that a misconception as well?
That's a very big misconception.
Do you run into it most of the times from your patients who come to you?
Yeah, that most of the misconceptions really affect. So we find out there, men lack the information. So it's not true. Vasectomy is not related to any cancer that exists. So when you don't ejaculate the sperms.
Yes.
So the sperms, the process of sperms formation will just go on, but the sperms, they get reabsorbed back to your body with time. So there's no way or any proved studies that have shown vasectomy is related to any cancer.
Any cancer, like they say testicular cancer as well, that you can actually get it if you don't get to release the sperm from your body. So it's a complete misconception.
That's a complete misconception.
Just before I cross over to Swanley, this counseling process, how long does it take?
The counseling process,
Because sometimes you let that information sit with somebody and then you tell them if you're okay with it, then come back. Or it is today, and then let's go into the procedure room.
Okay, so there's no specific time for the counseling. So the counseling will go on until you are satisfied with all the information and you've made your choice. So there's no specific time. We'll give you enough time to think about it. We give you all the information, then we give you time. So there's no specific time. It can take as long as it takes you to make the decision.
The decision.
Yes. So you need to have your time. You take your time. If you have a partner, you discuss. Then you decide. So there's no specific timeline for the counseling.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I'll be coming back to you then so we can talk about the side effects, the potential elements, bigger questions about opening up the channel again. Should you then be unfortunate maybe to lose a kid here and there, or should you want to procreate? So let me come to you.
Yes.
Could you talk to me through the process? When you made this decision, you went back to your partner and said, I'm going to take that option.
Yeah.
What was her reaction?
I think she was very surprised because I'm not the kind of person who makes decisions in haste. At first, we had spoken about it like 2017.
Yes.
And when I had my second born, that was in 2022. No, that was in 2021. That's when I had my second kid. When I told her I was doing it, she was very, very surprised.
Is it, I want to get the right emotion. Was it surprised, shocked, or?
No, she knew I had been thinking about it.
Okay.
Because I had talking to her time and time again.
Okay.
And then she would ask me, then I would, because in at every stage, like when you get some misinformation, you like put it at the back of your head. Then after some time, you're like, let me do some further research into this. You pick it up again, and she's, oh, you're back on this. So when I told her I'm ready, I think I'm going to do this time, she didn't believe me. She did not believe me. I actually, when I saw the first thing I did was look at whatever facilities were offering that. And I think I only saw one. I don't even remember which it was. And the cost was, damn, dude, it was overwhelming. I saw the cost for the procedure was around 150,000.
And that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Dude, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Which would make somebody say, I don't need to.
There was no way I'm spending that kind of money.
Isn't it?
So, and I think after that day, like 2-3 days later, then I saw the Murray Stops advert they had placed on Facebook.
Yes.
And the first thing I did when I reached out to them, they have a very, what should I say, capable call center staff. When I called them, my first question was, are you sure this thing is free? Because I just saw the price of
because I just seen the price
this procedure is 150K.
It's 150K.
Are you sure it's free?
Yes.
They told me, I told them, send me a message so I can screenshot it. I don't believe you guys, because I don't want to wake up and then you guys are charging
And then
me
after
for this.
that, you come and tell me, by the way, it's 150K and you gotta pay.
Exactly.
I get you.
So
yes.
After I did that, he's talked about the counseling stuff. I was very fortunate to meet Dr. Nyakundi. He's a very, very capable doctor.
Yes.
I think in my session, we had 3 guys. So he took time with us. He guided, even though we had already done the research, he actually took time to ask us more questions, like brainstorm on any concerns that we had.
Yes.
He also wanted to know mentally, like, how are we ready with because he let us know that this thing is like 100% permanent.
Yes.
The failure rate is less than 1%, right, doctor?
Yes, it's more than 98%.
So it's more than 98% effective, isn't it?
Yeah.
After 3 months.
After 3 months.
Yeah.
Yes. So he told us, if you're doing this, you need to consider that it's permanent.
Swale, you're there and somebody's telling you that that's it with you and procreation.
Yeah.
And the essence of a man,
Yeah.
it's within biology. You're supposed to procreate.
Now, at that point, and this was the funny bit,
Yes.
all the guys, we unanimously had one concern, like he mentioned.
Which was it?
Does it in any way affect our libido? Because if it does, then I think I'm out. I'd rather, you know.
Was that the only concern?
I mean, come on.
It's unanimously in that.
Why would I want to walk in and walk out with no network? I was like, if it in any way hampers my performance, I'm out.
That's it, I'm out.
I was like, no. It does not in any way affect your libido. You will get your erections and your sex game is the same.
Yes.
And after that, all of us were like, yeah, let's do this. Because I think that is the major concern. Even after I speak with a lot of my friends.
Yes.
And their concern is, does it affect me and my performance? And I'm telling you guys, it does not. You'll have a normal, healthy sexual life. It does not affect you in any way.
Out of your close friends, Swale, who know you and what you've done, because I'm going to give you some of the questions that came through out of the other interviews that you've done after you went through this procedure. You've essentially just become the face of vasectomy all of a sudden in the country. Out of the, maybe 3 of your friends, who you're telling everything is fine, do they believe you?
My friends are jerks. I can say this for sure. They troll me. I actually want to see the questions you guys have.
I do have
My friends are the worst.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing they talk about. They're like, dude.
I know I'm not supposed to laugh, but
no,
I'm just putting myself in their shoes.
Dude, I've been through worse. My friends are jerks. Every time we talk about this, they're always like, hey, dude, you're so calm today. Is everything okay, or is it because you got your network? I'm like,
Alan has expected it alone. Because you can see that culture is still...
yeah.
You're so calm today. I'm so sorry, I'm laughing.
It's okay, no problem.
It shouldn't be happening. So, I just want to go back a little bit then.
Yes.
We actually have 2 minutes because we're coming back to from this part so we can get to do majority of these questions for you.
Okay.
Right now where you are you completely settled that you and procreation done?
Yes, I am.
Completely, you say, Swale?
I am completely done.
There's no little doubt that maybe I should have waited.
Not at all, because I think, as a matter of fact, that was one point that the doctor who was counseling us was very insistent about. It was like, if you are thinking about, if you're having second thoughts, if you want to have any other kids, this is not the procedure for you. Because it's not, I think he told it's not reversible, right?
Yeah, it's irreversible.
Yeah, he told us it's irreversible.
Permanent.
So if you're thinking about having any more kids, you should probably opt out of this. So if you're doing this, that's it, it's done. And I'm quite comfortable with that. I knew I wanted 2 kids and that's it.
Some of the questions by there come in the second part, and some of them are hilarious.
Looking forward to see
I'm going to put them to you and Alan as well. So once we come back then, the bigger questions around this. Number 1, pain as a factor, pain management. And there's some questions about what you're going to do in the first 3 months after this procedure. And even to the level of how do you know? How do you really know that it has worked? Other questions asking the doctor who's on the set today is the failure rate. How do you understand that this thing exactly did work? Once we come back here on The Morning Drift, my name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Today we are talking about family planning from what we like to say out of culture perspective, especially if you are a Kenyan man or an African man. Some of these things, and you can see exactly how hilarious the responses that Swale did get from his friends are. That shows you that this is a culture thing. It's not a medical thing, it's a culture thing that we're trying to fight through medical procedures. So let's talk about it. We are still with Swale and Alan right here on The Morning Drift. Those questions, keep them coming in at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Tiny breather. Once we come back, your questions to the client and the doctor as well.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution, or a university, and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today on 011 0430 158, 011 0430 158, or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
What's that?
Na hili ndilo ombi langu kubwa kwako. Nahitaji kumuona.
Hii ni riwaya familia mbili kutoka Tanga, Tanzania.
Mama, taishi na hali ya maskini mpaka lini?
Mwanangu, usiseme hivyo. Hakuna mtu aliyeandikiwa kuwa maskini. Adam! I'm pregnant.
Na Mombasa, Kenya.
Jamal, sina zungumza na wewe.
You're just a maid tu wewe.
Sawa, mimi ni maid. Lakini nina heshima zangu na wala si dutu. I don't know why I was telling you about this business. Tuna haki ya kujua kama familia ama hatuna?
What nomenclature do they give such a beautiful angel missing in heaven? It happens that I like Malik's daughter. I'm not a flirt, I'm a realist.
Kutana naye Daudi Michael, Queen Mwangi, Tekla Mjata, Ruth Maingi na Yusuf Ali. Nira.
Revival Sanctuary School is open for 2023 admission. We offer CBC classes from playgroup, PP1, PP2, grade 1 to 6, and the 844 curriculum from standard 7 to 8. Do not miss out the opportunity. Create the best future for your child today. Revival Sanctuary School bears and strive to excel.
Listen, this topic is not supposed to be funny. And me laughing or trying to control my emotions just before we come on air shows you indeed that even me, I need to be part of the class to be educated about vasectomy and fighting culture. Anyway, let's get back to it. We do still have Swale and Alan on the set. Just before we come to the question, Swale, that I essentially to you, by the way. And if Swale's friends are watching, you guys, they will style up.
You're the worst.
Mwezi uliza Swale. Kama nalala na dera, tangu fanye vasectomies is not good. All right, Alan, let's get into it. One of the reasons as to why majority of men then would not consider this, they're talking about the procedure, the pain management. In the sense of majority of them will say no, because then they know that the process has pain and you got to manage pain. Talk to us about that pain. What is it and how do you manage it?
So one of the information that we provide during the counseling is about the pain management. Yeah, so vasectomy procedure, it has 4 levels of pain management. So the first one, you are given a painkiller before the procedure, like an injection shot, 30 minutes before the procedure. Then during the procedure, it's done under local anesthesia. I told you vasectomy is it's a minor procedure that's done at outpatient. So you're only given a local anesthesia injected at the sides of the scrotum where the procedure is done.
Hold on, this is done on your scrotum?
Yes, so the tubes that transport the sperms, they're on the sides of, there's the left side and also the right side. Yeah, so it's just a small incision.
That is done?
Yeah, that's done. Then the tube is identified. So before the incision, the local anesthesia is injected around that area to numb the place. So during the procedure, you don't feel any pain.
So it becomes like a circumcision procedure, essentially?
Even circumcision is even
more detailed.
Yeah, it's a more invasive procedure. Yeah, so vasectomy is a very minimal. There's a minimal pain during the procedure. That's why you're given the local anesthesia. It is very less invasive. Yeah, so we are just given the local anesthesia around before. Then the procedure itself, it takes like 15 to 20 minutes and you're done. So after you're given the injection, 30 minutes, you undergo the procedure. Then during the procedure, there's also a form of pain management called vocal local. So vocal local is when the patient is undergoing the procedure, he's being entertained, he's talked to, they make stories. Then there's also music within the room. So it's a very conducive procedure. That's part of pain management. Then after that, you'll also get some oral painkillers that you'll continue with like for 3 days. Because after the procedure, you may have just not really pain, but slight discomfort. Yeah. So you take the painkiller for the next 3 days. Yeah.
So can I ask you this a direct question as well?
Yeah.
In the country, we do have adults who go for circumcision. And some of the side effects when you go for circumcision is that it might even be hard to pass urine during those periods of when you're recovering. What are the side effects, potential side effects of this procedure? Because that also came in.
Yes. So as you know, any medical procedure may have possible complications. Yeah, so vasectomy being one of the procedures may have some possible complications, which are very rare. So some of the complications is pain, which we assure our clients that we do proper pain management for the procedure. Another thing may be an infection, so for the infection, to prevent this, one of the things that we do before you undergo the procedure, we do thorough screening to make sure you don't have any existing infection, like any existing STIs or any skin infection around the place that we do the procedure. Yeah, so most of the times you find that the complications, they come as a result of improper wound care, or the site. Yeah, so after the procedure, we advise you to keep proper hygiene. Then you also keep the area dry so that you reduce any risk of developing infections. So most of the infections depend on how you care for the incision site. Yeah, so these complications are very rare. So we have the pain, then the infections. Yeah, so like after the vasectomy, we advise you to try and reduce aggressive contacts to the area. Yeah, so for like 3 days.
Does that mean that no sexual relationship, after the procedure?
Okay, after the procedure, most of the clients, they heal within 3 days. So, but at least we'll advise you to abstain for like 2 weeks so that you give yourself enough time to heal properly before you resume having intercourse.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you don't develop any complications as per the procedure.
Pretty
So all this complication depends on the care, how you take care of the area after the procedure.
Okay.
Yeah. Then also to prevent, we do our procedures under sterile measures as possible. So we have very proper infection prevention measures.
Yes.
Yeah. So all our equipments are sterile. All our procedures are very sterile to prevent any possible complication setting in. Yeah.
Pretty much. There are other questions that are coming in. I'll be coming back to you on that, on what happens after 3 months, whether you need to come then for monitoring and inspection as well. I'll be coming back to you on that. So you went on the surgery table.
Yep.
Fine. I think you'll be the one to confirm what Alan is saying then in terms of how the procedure went for you. And after the procedure then, did you have any side effects? How did you manage your pain? And how did you get through the period when you were saying, let me see what is going to come out of this entire process? Take us back to, yes, counseling is here, everybody's fine, let's go to the surgery.
Yeah, like he mentioned, I got an injection. That's a painkiller injection, like 30 minutes before the process.
Yes.
So when I went on the operating table, I thought it was, when people hear about surgery, they consider you going under anesthesia, you are unconscious and everything. With vasectomy, it's not that kind of surgery. You're just right there. Only the scrotum is given an injection to numb it so that you don't feel pain.
Yes.
And during the procedure, I was actually talking to my doctor and his assistant. We were talking, having a conversation, cracking jokes. And I didn't feel any pain. I could hear them cutting and snipping, but I was just looking at them. No pain whatsoever. And the procedure, in my case, the procedure lasted 25 minutes, and I was out. I was given pain medication. Those are the tablets.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say the wound because it was just a very small incision. I was given a bandage dressing.
Yes.
I was told to just keep the dressing until, because I had the procedure around 1 p.m. So I was told to keep the dressing until the evening, and then during the evening, just take it and throw it off. Now, when it comes to the question of pain management, for comparison purposes, I would say, let's compare it with something majority of men know, circumcision.
Circumcision, yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, circumcision is 10, vasectomy is like a 3. Yes.
What's that?
Vasectomy is like a 3 because there is no major invasive wounds, first of all. With circumcision, there's a lot of stitching, there's a lot of gauze dressing.
Yes.
Like you said, some people have difficulties passing urine. With a vasectomy, the only thing I could feel was like, it's like somebody kicked me in the nuts like 2-3 days ago.
Yes.
It was just, what can I say, discomfort.
Yes.
I could feel some discomfort, but it did in any way hinder me in my day-to-day activities, because when I left Maristops, 2 hours later, I was back at work. Yes. All I had to do every time, because the doctor told me, anytime you feel like pain that is not manageable, take the pills, and they were very effective. So the issue of pain management, if you've had circumcision, this is nothing. Circumcision is way more painful than a vasectomy.
This one.
Yeah.
The right question then, I'm gonna come to you. I do apologize, I laughed so much. That's why my voice is really saying no to me today. Alan, let's talk about the cost. See how what Swale started. Swale knew that is exactly why when I got into research. And then all of a sudden, it ran into an ad, 150,000. He said,
not happening.
This is not happening. I can't pay 150,000 for this. I'd rather just control it by myself. Let's talk about the cost. Should I come to Maristops today? How much would this cost me? Let's start from there.
Yeah, so vasectomy at Maristops is very affordable.
Yes.
Yeah, so the cost will range like between 20 to 30K.
Only that?
Only that. And once in a while, we also offer free vasectomies. We usually put the information on our socials. Yeah, so once in a while we do free vasectomies.
Do we know when the free ones are going to come soon? This year?
There's one this year.
Yes.
But for those people who are around coast in Mombasa.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to confirm the date.
Please
before
do.
we end the
fantastic.
interview.
Please do. So that we can actually speak to the men who are watching today, maybe from Coast, that it's time for you to actually consider this.
Yes.
So just before I get into the other direct questions then, to Swanley and you as well, talk to me about the other options. I mean, the men who are listening to you today, they're like, like, yeah, I'm not like Swale. I'm not going to do that. But then they're interested in family planning. And they want to also make a major contribution. You hear, like Swale said, I'm not going to leave this load to my spouse. I just want to take up this responsibility. For a man who's listening to you and saying, yes, I hear you, but vasectomy, no. What options are open to me as a man then to also carry that responsibility of family planning in my household?
Okay, so let me say that okay, the burden of birth control has been for a long time left for the women.
Yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why majority of men are like, you need to
yeah. But I'm glad the conversation around vasectomy of late is taking shape.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I told you before, we settle on the vasectomy during the counseling. So we give you we discuss the other options. So we have different methods of contraceptives that we offer as marriage stops, and they are classified. So we have the permanent methods, permanent and non-reversible. So in permanent methods, we have the vasectomy, then we have the tubal ligation, a permanent method for women. Then we also have the long-term and reversible methods. So under long-term and reversible methods, we have the intrauterine device, what people call the coil. So intrauterine device is the one that is inserted into the uterus. We have both hormonal and non-hormonal.
Yes.
Yeah, so the hormonal one has progesterone. We have one that lasts for 5 years. There's one that lasts for 3 years. Then also the non-hormonal one, now the copper, the intrauterine device, which is inserted into the uterus. It's also can serve you. There's one for 5 years. There's one for 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Then also under the permanent, the long-term and reversible methods, we have the implants. So implants are the one that they inserted into under the skin on your arm. So there's one for 5 years. Then there's one for 3 years called implant. And the one for 5 years is called Jadel. Yeah, so these ones can be reversed anytime, meaning you can just remove them anytime you want to. And once they are removed, your return to fertility is immediate, meaning you can conceive as soon as you want. Yeah, then we have the short terms. So the short terms methods, these are which serve you for a shorter period. So we have the injection, the 3 months injection. So there are two. There's one called Sayana. There's one called the Depo.
Yes.
So these are either injected on your arm or on your butt, given after every 3 months, and it's hormonal. Then you have the daily contraceptive pills. These are the pills that are taken each and every day. Yeah, and there's also hormonal. Then you have the condoms, the female condoms, the male condoms. Then we also have the emergency contraceptive pill, the one the morning after pill, the one that is taken within 72 hours after unprotected sex. Yeah, then we also have the natural methods, which is not really very effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
so those are the
yes.
options.
Yes.
Yeah, the other option apart from the
pretty much clear now. Gentlemen, at this time then, we have 10 minutes for us to listen to the questions that came to you. So I don't know whether you're going to be able to answer.
Shoot anyway.
But just before that, I've just been told, by the way, by my producer and director as well, that it is the 16th of February in Mombasa.
In Mombasa, yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's for any other person who's interested then to come in for the free vasectomy. Then it's going to be on 16th of February.
Yeah.
But just before I cross over to Swali as well, just to clear up on a point that you've touched.
Yes.
I mean, this drive of free vasectomy, From Marriage Stop's perspective, Alan, why are you doing these free drives? Is it just to open up to men to these solutions that are available when it comes to birth control and family planning? Is that your long-term goal in conducting these free drives?
Okay, the reason for conducting these free vasectomies is because we're just trying to do what is called partner involvement in matters birth control. Yeah, so you find that women, they have many options. So we are also trying to encourage men to help their women in matters birth control, to support them in having the options. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so we're just encouraging partner involvement in matters contraceptives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Swale. Yes, back to you. Let's talk culture then, because majority of these questions are just on culture. Good one. This is the first one that came in. I'm just gonna shoot.
Shoot, dude.
Men who decide on vasectomy or mekaliwa. That's what I'm gonna shoot.
Okay.
That it's a safe, I don't know, it's a safe move for your wife not to cheat on you.
No, I think that's an assumption because, okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think for you to take a decision like this, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
And I'm telling you, there's no way someone can push you to do something like this. With the information out there, knowing that this is permanent and it's irreversible, I don't care how kukaliwa umekaliwa, no one is going to force you to do this.
I know.
Hakuna vile umekaliwa ufanye hivi. There's no way. Okay? You just have to weigh your options and decide what to do. And the irony is, when it comes to, like, the conversation I've had, when it comes to the information that is out there, if you talk to the average Kenyan male, women know more about vasectomy than men. I was quite surprised. Women are, but I think it's because we've left the whole to them. So they have done all the research, they have all the information. But when you talk to men, most people know about the misconceptions that are there. And I think that's what drives people to, I think, stay away from conversation as a form of birth control.
Pretty much. Second one, a direct one as well.
Yeah.
And this is quite definite. Someone is asking, did you conduct a DNA on your kids first before making this decision?
I can't say I have, but my kids are identical to me. They look just like me.
So even with the conversations of there's a way women can make sure the kids look like her and you're out of the equation.
I'd like to share this with the user. If you're willing to pay for the tests, I will. Please do. You'd actually be helping me out. Please do.
Like the common, but then that's where the question comes.
I know.
But they pay for it now, and then you realize,
I know that's a valid concern. That's a very, very valid concern because maybe if you have a vasectomy, it's permanent.
Yes.
And then you realize that the kids that you have are not yours. Dude, that would just that's rough.
It will knock you off balance.
That's rough. I know that's a very valid concern.
Has it ever crossed your mind? Like,
not really. It has never crossed my mind.
So never ever?
It has never ever crossed my mind.
Even when we, the media, start talking about how DNA testing kits are now quite cheap, you can get it in a house. It's never crossed your mind?
It's never crossed my mind, though. It has never crossed my mind. Now it has. Back then, it never crossed my mind.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. I told you I'm here for the questions, no problem.
Yeah.
In that counseling process, do you even sometimes go like, if you're doubting that the family you have might not be necessarily yours, could you please be sure before you come here? Do you normally tell your clients that? In the counseling process, it's never really become an issue.
Okay, I think that's more personal.
It's a personal decision.
It's a personal issue. So maybe it does not feature in the counseling sessions. So what we do in the counseling sessions, we just focus on the procedure.
Yeah.
We dispel all the myths.
Okay.
We give you all the information that you have.
Yes.
That you need to have to make an informed decision. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Swale, the next one. Quite important as well, and it's a good thing that Alan is here.
Yep.
That have you gained weight since you carried that procedure?
No.
Because then your proteins are getting reabsorbed back into the body as opposed to taking them out.
I think there's been no change in my, physical form because I'm actually quite an active guy.
Yes.
So no weight gain whatsoever. And I can also say there's no downside. I've not experienced any downsides.
Yes.
I'm still active as usual.
Yes.
I'm still, doing everything I used to do. So there's nothing. Like the doctor said, the recovery period post-op is 1 to 2 weeks. In my case, 1 week was enough. I could feel all the pain was gone, and because we had been told not to do anything that's like a lot of motion in the groin area. That involves bike riding. And
yes.
Other than that, everything else is okay. Weight gain, I am not. Look at me, I'm Slim Shady right here.
There's another one that I'm going to get back to him. Oh, okay. This is the most direct one, but probably I'll give it to him before we clear the show. Other concern that came is on scarring. Yeah, we do know that circumcision essentially gives you a permanent scar that heals. So you have a scar that essentially healed. Does a vasectomy give you a permanent scar that later on heals?
Okay, maybe before I answer that, maybe I can add on
please.
The weight gain.
Yeah.
So you see, the process of sperm production occurs in normal human beings.
Yes.
Even you yourself,
yes,
the sperms are usually reabsorbed back to your body. So it's only it's not only for vasectomy clients.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is an ongoing process. Okay. Sperms are usually reabsorbed back to the body. Even in a normal human being.
This is what men need.
Yeah.
These things, When you tell a man that this is actually absorbed, then it makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's address that.
Now on the question of the scarring.
Yes.
So vasectomy incision is very slight, very small. It doesn't even require stitching.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the procedure is done, you're just given some small dressing.
Yes.
Which you remove after 3 days. So usually there's not even a visible scar after the procedure.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a less invasive procedure that doesn't develop any scarring on the skin.
Now, Swale, you gotta take 1 minute to answer to this because that's the only time that we have left.
Okay.
And I saved this one lastly then for you because you sort of talked about it, but I'm gonna ask it so that our audience can look at it.
Okay.
For your friends and family
yeah,
who've known that you've gone through this procedure, have they changed how they look at you now as a man? And, is an attachment question, do you now consider yourself a modern man, especially after you have undergone a vasectomy?
To the first question, my friends and family, no, they don't treat me different.
They don't?
They don't treat me different anyway. Okay, like I said, my friends are jerks. They make fun of this so much. It's hilarious.
But they haven't changed how they treat
No, they haven't changed. They just, and I say it comes from a good place because after all the joking is done, you realize it's curiosity because most of the time they reach out through WhatsApp, they're asking questions. And I think it's now like my responsibility to, take them through the journey, give them the information that I know.
Yes.
If there's any platform I can refer them to get information, I send them there. And I think there's one who's very, very serious about this. So I've been giving him all the information that I do. So I know even with all the jokes, there's some who are still, in the learning curve at the moment.
That's it?
Yeah.
And your family, no other way treatment?
No, nothing.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Guess what? Now you do know. On 16th of February, if you have time, please follow Marriage Talks on their socials. You want to be part of their free drive, you can get it for free. But you do know exactly what to do as well. You can walk into some of their branches. It is 20 to 30,000, done. And then after that, you can be part of the decisions in terms of your family planning. We've dispelled the myths, the rumors, and any other question that you had for Swale, trust me, we put them together. For Joy, Susan Kisi, thank you very much for watching this morning. And the rest of you have also sent in those comments and messages. We do appreciate you. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. All right, we take a tiny breather. Once we come back, our newsroom diary and what is trending this morning. Hopefully, Swale is not trending.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses